einmal noch konzentrieren. Das ist das letzte Interview für diesen Tag. Dieses Mal mit Richard Jones, welcher uns ein bisschen über Castlevania erzählen wird. Eine Legende im Videospielbereich, hat in den 80ern angefangen als 8-Bit-Spiel auf dem NES, ist jetzt in die dritte Dimension rüber transferiert worden. Das wurde ja schon einmal versucht, ist nicht so wirklich gut angekommen. Wir haben aber schon Hands-on gehabt und wir versprechen euch, das neue Castlevania in 3D sieht einfach spitze aus. Und was uns Richard Jones dazu erzählen hat, das erfahren wir jetzt. Alright. So, first of all, you have to tell us how many years you're working on this IP. We heard of it last year, the first time. But there must be a progress before this. So how many years did you spend with the idea in your head?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, this, you know, when you guys learn about something, you know, there is an awful lot that happens before that. It's like an iceberg, you know, the tip of the iceberg, and, you know, a lot under the water. So I think in total it's probably from the original pitch, maybe 3.5 years. So 2.5 years of proper production, and, you know, a year of pre, and trying to get everything off the ground and green lit. So yeah, it's been a very long process, and it's one of those things that you become very attached to once you've been involved with it for so long.
Yeah. So the announcement was it will be out on 7th of October.
Correct. Yeah.
So there must be the Goldmaster very soon.
Yeah, actually in about 2 days' time. So
in 2 days?
Yeah.
All
so,
right. And you're standing here?
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, it's because I love you guys so much.
Oh,
you know?
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
You know, how could I turn down the offer? But yeah, it's getting to that time where we're everyone is running very fast, and yeah, but very exciting. You know, we're really pleased with how everything's turned out, and yeah, just excited to get it on the shelves and get it in people's hands, and you know, let them experience you know, the joy that we've had making it.
So I hope I didn't got it wrong, but this is the first time you work on a huge Castlevania IP.
Yeah, correct. It's the in fact, it's the first time that Castlevania has been made anywhere outside of Japan. So for it to be given to the European development team, obviously it's being led by Dave Cox, Konami, and being developed by Mercury Steam in Spain. So yeah, it's very exciting to you know, and a privilege to be allowed to, you know, to take something which has such great history and do our own version of it. You know, it's a dream come true, really, to have that sort of opportunity.
Right. So it's kind of a legacy. The whole series started off in the 80s on the NES and stuff like that. A huge fan base. So what did you do to satisfy? You can't satisfy anyone. It's don't be dreaming above the clouds. But what did you specifically do to satisfy the most of the fans?
Right. Well, I mean, one of our original ideas for this game was that we really wanted to draw from those very early games. I mean, most of the people involved in this title have got to that certain age. You know, they're that era who grew up with the 8-bit games, the 16-bit games, and so that was really where the passion, you know, lay. That was what we wanted to recreate. But you're right. I mean, there's 26 years of heritage now within this game, and you know, there's so much story involved in that it's almost almost impossible to tell a story that you want to. So in that respect, we decided quite early on that rather than trying to fit into the timeline, we would treat this as a, you know, a sort of you know, a reboot, if you would, or an alternative universe. So in the same way as, you know, you have the Ultimate Spider-Man running simultaneously alongside Amazing Spider-Man. So, you know, this title exists away from the timeline and away from the history, and we really did that because, of course, we want to please the fans. You know, of course you do, but we also wanted to bring this to the widest audience possible. And in order to do that, we didn't want people to feel that, oh, you know, I can't play that Castlevania game because I haven't played the previous ones and I don't know the story. So, you know, This game is completely self-contained. It's a story starring Gabriel Belmont, who no one's met before. He's a new Belmont that we're introducing, and it's his story. It's a very sad story. It's his quest to bring back his murdered wife. She's recently murdered. He learns that there is this holy relic called the God Mask that he can that apparently has the power to bring back the dead. So this is where his quest lies. So it's a self-contained story, but obviously within that, it's still Castlevania. You know, there is no point in calling it Castlevania and throwing out everything Castlevania. So you know, fans of the series will recognise characters. I think of all the enemies. Probably 80%, 85% of them are are known to the Castlevania universe. Some people will recognise them immediately. Some we've reimagined in our own way. So you know, yeah, we really wanted to make this game that would appeal to as many people as possible, and we hope we've done that. You know, it's a beautiful looking game. It plays brilliant. We loved it. We're just so excited about this game, and we hope that rubs off on everyone else.
Sure. You worked together with Hideo Kojima on this one. But he didn't supervise it like it's used to be. He's more like a friend of you who said, I wouldn't do this or I wouldn't do that. Or how does this happen? It's very unusual.
Yeah, correct. I mean, quite early on in the production of the game, when there were some very early tech demos being shown, Mr. Kojima actually sort of said to Dave, who is the producer, this is very interesting. I mean, I'm really impressed with what you're doing. I would like to help you in any way that I can. And as Dave always says, when someone like Mr. Kojima says, I would like to help you,
you don't say no. Absolutely.
I mean, the man has so much experience, so much vision. To turn down that offer would be madness. But yeah, you're right. He's not. He's quite hands-off. He's been in Japan. He's been more of a mentor to the team. So the team sends him builds. He plays the builds. Comes back saying, I love this bit or this bit. Maybe you should. Have you thought of doing this? And so then the team will go back and go, yeah, maybe if we did, yeah. But at no point has there been, has he said you must do it this way. It's always been the call of the producer. In the end, this is a European production, and I think Mr. Kojima, has faith in what the team are doing, has enough faith to guide them rather than to have to do anything else.
So, there are two different gaming cultures clashed always together with Castlevania. You have the Western and the Japanese gaming culture, and Castlevania has always managed to bridge those gaps. But for the first time, a European developer is taking a stride at this one. And how did you approach this?
Gamescom 2010 ends for today at 7 o'clock.
That's annoying.
We have two very different and distinct gaming cultures, the Western and the Japanese gaming culture, and Castlevania has been always able to bridge that gap between those gaming cultures. Both sides always liked the series, but it has always been produced in Japan. For the first time, a European team takes a shot at it. So how did you approach that? How did you analyze it? And how's the reaction on the Japanese side to the game so far?
That's a very interesting question. I mean, we approach this from a European perspective. Everyone involved is European, and you can only do what you know. So I think the game has absorbed an awful lot of Europeanness, if you like. Certainly in the look, in the story, and that type of thing. But having the advantage of having Kojima Productions behind us, they've been able to sort of give us advice, and they've actually been very supportive. I mean, Mr. Kojima has actually said that he thinks that Gabriel, is a very cool character now. We actually kind of redesigned him. Originally, he was very different, and he was a bit more of a barbarian, a bit more like Simon from the early games. But then we had this very, very subtle, tragic love story, and one of the things that Mr. Kojima said was, you have this very nuanced story. Maybe your lead character needs to have a bit more depth and be a bit more human. So the team went away again and worked on Gabriel, and this is how you see Gabriel now. And so I mean, there is an influence there that's come from Mr. Kojima and from the Kojima Productions, and coming from him, it has the Japanese sensibilities that he brings with it. So, I mean, he still looks like a Belmont. There's no getting away from the fact he still looks like a Belmont.
Definitely.
But hopefully he's a character that everyone can associate with and enjoy.